There are certain days on this set when you realize that you can only do this right with the real thing.
Welcome to Ms. Mojo. When it comes to time traveling through TV, we know we're signing up for more entertainment than education, which is why it's so gratifying when shows manage to do both. Today, we're looking at 10 of the best examples of historical accuracy in period dramas.
Dr. Dawkins will make 1,000 years of history by trialing surgery with no pain. The Yankee Dodge!
Number 10. The Opera War, The Gilded Age.
Who are you here with?
Mrs. Henry Skirmerhorn. She has the next box. Is this yours, Mrs. Russell?
Oh, no, I don't have one.
There's a terrible waiting list.
Especially for me.
New money Bertha Russell is determined to climb to the top of the New York elite, but without a box at the Academy of Music, she will never be counted as one of society's leading ladies.
You don't even like opera. Not so I've ever noticed.
George, the opera is where society puts itself on display. Not just in New York, but all over Europe. And the leaders take boxes where they meet each other and their children court each other, and that is how the wheels of society turn.
Shut out by old money gatekeeping sensibilities, Bertha does what any robber baron's wife would do. She champions the foundation of the Metropolitan Opera instead. Though Bertha is a fictional character, this sequence of events on the Gilded Age mirrors a real social clash where established grand dames like Lena Astor tried to shut out newly wealthy industrialists by maintaining the exclusivity of certain institutions. But the old guard were vastly outnumbered, and as we see in the show, their attempt to ignore the changing tides only diminished their prominence faster.
This is what defeat feels like.
Lena, don't say that. The Metropolitan is a novelty. They're simply curious.
Ladies, I know it's hard, but it's time to face the truth.
Number 9. The Curse, Rome. Film renderings of ancient Rome are practically as old as the medium itself, but this woefully short-lived HBO series is a standout among them for its ability to take viewers street level, to experience the city the way the ancient Romans would have actually known it.
I go this way. My home is behind the street of the cloth dyers.
Go with fortune, sir.
The cleaner brothels are in the Subura, next to the venereal temple.
Rome shows us everything from the social order, to business dealings, to religious rituals with a strong eye for authenticity. One particularly noteworthy scene comes as Julius Caesar's scorned lover Servilia seeks out divine retribution against him and his scheming niece Atia.
Gods of the Inferno, I offer to you his limbs, his head, his mouth, his breath, his speech, his hands, his liver, his heart, his stomach.
Servilia's curse is based on ones found on lead curse tablets recovered from archaeological digs. We kind of have to admire how thorough Roman ill-wishers were.
Gods of the Inferno, let me see her suffer deeply, and I will rejoice and sacrifice to you.
Number 8. The Aberfan Disaster, The Crown. In a show that so adeptly blended historical realism with dramatic license, it can be hard to single out one moment as its most accurate. But among them all, the show's portrayal of the Aberfan Disaster is certainly its most memorable.
What's up, boys? I'm trying to eat my breakfast, but trouble 17.
Something's not right.
What do you mean?
We should get a safety team up there now, just in case.
What? You can feel it moving.
We better not hang around.
I've never seen anything like it. Where exactly?
Tip 7.
Christ, is anybody left them? There's 2 lads. We left them to keep an eye on.
Okay, someone needs to check it out and quick.
I'll get quiet.
In October of 1966, a coal tip became destabilized by rain and slid down into the Welsh village of Aberfan, where it consumed a school and a number of houses. Not only does The Crown capture the horror of the event, but the ensuing grief and tragedy as the villagers work to find their loved ones and neighbors.
The number of casualties in the tip disaster in South Wales could be as high as 200. 36 people remain in hospital, 20 bodies have been recovered, and estimates suggest that as many as 150 more are still missing.
As in the episode, Queen Elizabeth II delayed visiting Aberfan for more than a week. It was reportedly her greatest regret in her long tenure on the throne.
The Duke of Edinburgh said the family sung a hymn when they buried their children.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any way I might hear it?
I'm sure we can find a recording.
Number 7. Wool Walking, Outlander. This century-spanning romance has been praised for the way it captured big moments, like the doomed stand of the Highlanders at the Battle of Culloden. However, it's the depiction of the mundane pieces of the 18th century that give the show its texture.
Came with the Mackenzie party. The men are all busy with the rent, so I found myself rather idle.
Idle, you say? Well, we'll see about that. You have strong hands, Claire.
When she's left to her own devices in a small village, the local women conscript Claire to assist them in wool walking, as well as softening and thickening newly woven wool fabric. The process helped to make it water repellent and ensured it kept its color.
That's pungent. Is that hot piss? Yes, Claire. Sets the dye fast.
Well, they did it that way for centuries, so it obviously worked. From the activity itself to the traditional Scottish walking songs we hear, Outlander gives us a glimpse of an everyday moment lived by thousands of women in the past. Number 6. The Moon Landing, Mad Men.
Sitting in this room, we can still feel the pleasure of that connection. Because I realize now we were starved for it.
It's hard to imagine in the days of streaming and algorithms, but once upon a time we did share big tent cultural resets where we all experienced the same thing at the same time. 1969's Moon Landing was one of the most famous shared moments of the 20th century.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Bravo.
Mad Men always excelled at situating its plots amidst bigger historical moments, and this is no exception. We see the ubiquity of the moon landing coverage, as well as the varying reactions to it.
Isn't this something?
I guess.
So you're unimpressed?
It's such a waste of money.
You don't really think that, do you?
We'll be going there all the time while people go hungry down here.
Don't be so cynical.
Sally may be parroting someone else's opinion here, but it helps ground this moment in realism by rubbing the nostalgic veneer off the past as only Mad Men could. It's one of the best examples of the show subtly pointing out that the past was never as straightforward as we like to believe.
Maybe that's better. Maybe that's the way it always should have been.
Number 5. The Kanto Massacre, Pachinko. As exquisite as it is underrated, this sprawling, multi-generational story manages to capture multiple eras in Korean and Japanese history with keen specificity. However, no episode has been as heartbreakingly visceral as the one depicting the Kanto earthquake of 1923. The event devastated the cities of Tokyo and Yokohama, as well as much of the surrounding region. As a result, protagonist Hansu, a young man, loses first his father and then his future. But things only get worse. In the chaos that followed the earthquake, Korean immigrants, already heavily discriminated against, were scapegoated, and vigilante mobs formed to hunt them down. Over 6,000 innocent people lost their lives in the violence. The episode's a hard watch on its own, but knowing it happened for real is nothing short of gutting. Number 4. Anne Boleyn's Execution, Wolf Hall.
Good Christian people, I am come hither to die. For according to the law, and by the law, I am judged to die.
Yeah, I can't hear her.
And therefore I was...
I think she'd speak up for her last words.
Anne's life and death were history-defining events even in her own time, and meticulous records were made of her final moments on Earth. Natalie Dormer's regal and resolved demeanor as Anne in The Tudors is consistent with contemporary accounts of the Queen's behavior on the block.
Wherefore I submit to death with a good will, humbly asking pardon of all the world. If anyone should take up my case, I ask them only to judge it kindly.
Claire Foy's performance in Wolf Hall is more subdued as she takes her leave. However, tiny details are reportedly correct, like the French executioner wearing soft shoes to try to keep Anne relaxed, and calling out for the sword he already had in hand to get her head in the right position. We also see her ladies taking care of her body afterwards, which lines up with historical fact. and reflects Anne as someone more nuanced than the villain she was painted as.
No. Just tell me. You don't believe these stories against me, do you? I know in your heart you don't.
Number 3, The Boston Massacre Trial, John Adams. This miniseries sought to take the mythologizing sheen off the United States' founding, whether in the very lived-in production design or the decision to include the more obnoxious aspects of John Adams' personality. But we also see him as a man of very strong principles.
By the time the news of last night's events spread, I have no doubt he will be the most despised man in all of Massachusetts.
You won't be much talked of.
Ambition.
Counsel is the last thing an accused person should lack in a free country. There we go.
Those principles are on display when he agrees to serve as defense counsel for British soldiers accused of murder during the Boston Massacre. Though the decision didn't win Adams any fans among his neighbors, it demonstrated his commitment to the rule of law, which the series depicted in nuanced scenes based on primary source accounts of the trial.
Facts are stubborn things. See, whatever our wishes, our inclinations, or the dictums of our passions, they cannot alter the state of facts and evidence.
Abigail Adams's contribution is included as well. In dialogue sourced from diaries and letters, we can fully appreciate the Adams marriage as a partnership between intellectual equals.
You must persuade even more and mask your impatience with those less intelligent than yourself.
Good heaven. Is my demeanor in the court on trial now?
I would not dream of telling you how to conduct yourself in court.
Would you not?
Number 2, No Drama, Shogun. Thanks to a granular attention to detail, 17th century Japan came to life in this acclaimed series following the fictionalized rise of the Tokugawa shogunate. Far beyond just nailing the costumes and sets, the creative team sought to immerse the audience in the period by recreating a way of life. This commitment especially shines in a scene showcasing the traditional Japanese dance drama called No.
No theater was such an important part of samurai's life in that time period. So for us to include that in the show felt very, very important and appropriate.
The production commissioned an original piece by the Hosho No Theater, who also supplied performers for the episode. The company has been active since the 14th century, and some of its current members are descendants of No artists who performed for the actual Tokugawa shoguns. What we're privileged to see on screen is not historical reenactment, it is living history.
You realize no one can fake that. No one can fake that level of detail to their movement itself.
That's not something that can be replicated. It's not something that can be mimicked. It just is.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. The King's Speech, Downton Abbey. The royal embrace of technology marked a huge turning point for public relations and received both skepticism and enthusiasm accordingly.
Well, you have heard the voice of His Majesty King George V. What do you think, Carson? Mrs. Hughes, the King on the wireless.
I prefer to think of him on his throne, my lord.
To me, it's a good thing to make him less of a myth, more of a man.
Surgery, The Artful Dodger. Jack Dawkins may be fictional, but every surgery scene on the show was based on a historical medical case.
If I get hanged for this, I'll haunt your every waking moment. I'll be that face you see in your nightmares, and trust me, you'll be having nothing but nightmares.
Do shut up and ease the patient.
The Madness of King George, Bridgerton, and Queen Charlotte. Increasingly frequent episodes of mental illness eventually forced King George III out of public life.
Oh dear, it seems I'm late for the ceremony.
My king. Can someone come and assist?
I didn't mean to keep you waiting, Rosie. My bride, my beautiful bride. Where is the Archbishop? And our congregation.
And Lister's Diaries, Gentleman Jack. Not only did we see the historical Anne's coded writing on screen, but the text she left, over 4 million words, served as a guide for the show.
Oh, she's famous for a journal.
She records everything, absolutely everything, in great detail.
Yes, you must be certain to stay on the right side of her. Otherwise, you might end up in it.
You don't have to offend me to grace the pages of my journal. Sometimes I write about people I really like.
The List, Harlots. Harris's list of Covent Garden ladies, a directory and review of London sex workers, was indeed published annually in book form in 18th century London.
Here's Kitty's.
I've read mine already. I'm appealing.
Appalling. Read mine. No, Emily, wait your turn.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Day of Days, Band of Brothers.
I wonder if the rest of them are as lost as we are.
We're not lost, Bryman. We're in Normandy.
Considered a gold standard for World War II depictions on screen, Band of Brothers built its narrative on the testimonies of the soldiers who served in the ironically named Easy Company. Their role in the D-Day operation was not to storm the beaches, but to drop in behind enemy lines.
We will drop behind this Atlantic wall 5 hours before the 4th Infantry lands at Utah. Now, between our assembly area and the battalion's objective, there is a German garrison right here in this area, Saint-Marie-de-Mont. Easy Company will destroy that garrison.
Easy Company's use of small unit tactical strikes, like the Brécourt Manor assault, were essential for weakening and disrupting their German targets. In fact, they're still held up as the model for that kind of military engagement. Day of Days diligently recreates these events, showing us how numerous individual actions stacked up into the Allied victory that changed the course of the war. Tactile and personal, this episode puts viewers inside history with striking realism.
Hey, Dick. I sent that map up to Division. I think it's gonna do some good.
Which period TV shows utterly transport you? Tell us about it in the comment section.